Well, I will tell you, I came from the league meetings.
Well, Reed, it wasn't 40
This
under
last week.
40, that was for sure.
No.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're good.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. First, to begin with, we're going to introduce everybody. Do you want to just go around the room
Yeah.
and introduce yourself? And you can tell us which area you represent if you would like. We'll start here with Margaret.
Okay. I'm Margaret Black, and I represent Canyon View, Orchard, and Cascade.
Linda Parkinson, and I represent Stonewood and Lake Ridge with Carolyn.
Yeah.
Mark Seastrand, Lakeview, and Cherry Hill area.
Rachel Holmberg, Geneva Heights, Suncrest, and Orem Park.
Jenica Jones with the city.
Jincia Noble, Sunset Heights, East and West.
Kim Anderson with Aspen.
Kelly Moore, Orem North, and Sharon.
Amy Green, Geneva Heights, Suncrest, and
Truman Van Sunset Heights.
I'm David Moulton, represent Heather Ridge, Northridge, and Windsor.
I'm Kara McCandless, I'm Timpview.
I'm Carolyn Blossel, and I'm Stonewood and Lake Ridge.
Reed Farnsworth, Orem North, and Sharon Park.
Lene Millett, City Council Liaison. Debbie Lamb, Orem, Sharon, Hillcrest.
Great. I'm Jenny Scribner. I represent Heather Ridge, Northridge, and Windsor, and get to be the chairperson. Okay, the next thing we need to do is approve the minutes from our last meeting. And I need to call for a vote on that. Do I have a first? Second? And a vote.
Just
Oh, is
a
that
voice
good?
vote, yeah.
The voice vote of
Yeah.
aye.
Uh-huh.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, the next thing that we have is, I'm going to turn over time to Orem PD.
Okay.
Right on time.
So I think one of the biggest things for us is My Hometown that's coming in. We're super excited about that. It will help us on the NIT side, our neighborhood improvement team. And also, I think the resources that center will provide with the Spanish-speaking classes and English-speaking classes and different things like that will really benefit the entire community. Especially, to be honest with you, I'm probably going to sign up for a Spanish class there. That's one of the big things we're looking forward to. We have tomorrow, some of the events we've been doing recently, we've been hitting the schools, Westmore Elementary, Cherry Hill Elementary, Windsor Elementary. We've done cookies with cops in those in the last 2 months, where we come in at lunchtime and give all the kids a cookie and hang out. This morning we just did walk to school with a cop at Orem Elementary and got the kids all jacked up on sugar before school. Their teachers probably hate us. That's okay. Kids like us. And then tomorrow is our annual autism event at Downtown Park, and that is, we have 29 vendors coming this year that are resources for families with disabilities. So that'll be a really big event this year.
What age is that targeting?
Every age. Anybody that's autistic, we have from little tiny kids to full-grown adults from Rise that come and hang out and play games with us and get swag and just to get them used to being around guys in uniform. Most of the guys come in full uniform, so the kids aren't scared of the cops if they do show up. Or we tend to find a lot of autistic children and stuff wandering around the city, and so if they're scared of us, it doesn't do us any good. We want them to be comfortable coming up and talking with us.
Where's the park?
Yeah, where's it at?
Right at City Center Park.
Okay.
Right, and it's from 5 to 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Hopefully the weather holds out across that finish. And then just from here on till the end of the school year, trying to keep the schools happy, doing the reading with police, and also for NIT now is they're starting to kick off their crazy season. During the winter they're a little bit slower because people don't call in on weeds and stuff because there's landscape issues and things like that. But
what's an NIT?
Neighborhood Improvement Team.
Oh,
so they're
okay.
the old. They used to be called NPU when it was they were sworn officers that would go out and enforce city ordinances. And now it's NIT and their civilian employees that go out and they get us involved if there's something criminal, but if it's not criminal, they just take care of it. They do a lot of our business licensing and stuff like that. So that's kind of where we're heading for the remainder of the summer. Orem Fest is huge and coming up, and that's one of our big things on our calendar. And then in August we'll do the National Night Out again. So just if you guys have any needs, feel free to reach out. If you guys have an event in your neighborhood or something that you would like officers to come out to, like maybe you're having a neighborhood barbecue or something, you're like, hey, it'd be cool to have the cops here, or fire. On our website, there's a link at the very bottom and it says, I want an officer to come to my event or whatever, and you just click on that. Even if it's tonight, right now, actually, we're teaching a safety fair for LDS Young Women's Group and teaching them how to stay safe. My other officers are out there. Saturday, we have Centro Hispanio at the Orem Library. We'll be at that. So that's kind of how we let people schedule stuff with us, and we're happy to come to anything, even if it's, as small groups as 3 kids or adults. We deal with a lot of neighborhood issues when it comes to cul-de-sacs and people that want to park perpendicular to the curb. We'll come out and we'll come out and explain why you can't do that.
That's new. That's newer. I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in a
Can't get the
cul-de-sac.
fire trucks in there and turn them around.
Yeah, no, I get it, but they were going to ticket all of us, and I thought I didn't even know that was a thing to have to park differently. So I'm
junk vehicles, stuff like that. Anything, if you guys have specific, I guess maybe to the west side of town, we have a lot of homeless issues. People that set up camps down by the railroad tracks and stuff like that. If you guys see any of that stuff, call in and let us know. We'll go talk to them and get them clean it up and handle it as best we can. You guys have any questions for me?
Summertime usually picks up a little more with gang activity and tagging. Any update or any insight on
It's already
how that's
increasing.
handled? Or
Yeah,
what
the tagging's already increasing because of the warmer weather. Just report it. I can usually get it removed within 48 hours. If you guys report it to us, I can have somebody out there. We have Teens Against Graffiti, which is the kids that got in trouble with juvenile court, and they are on work supervision, and they come out and they're actually really good. They're very respectful of property, and they'll clean up whatever tagging we can. We have one investigator that all of those graffiti cases go to, and that investigator tried to link them by the tag itself, so whatever they spray painted or whatever. Some of them are just random, but some of them last fall we were able to link 8 students at Orem Junior High to about 37 different taggings. And so it was felony charges. We actually charged them with felonies, but we were able to get it cleaned up pretty quickly. So if you guys have anything like that pops up in your neighborhood, even at the parks guys really do a good job of, if something hits, they write something on the slides or something, the park guys they're pretty Johnny on the spot with getting it taken care of. But some of the buildings, businesses and stuff, they don't really look at their back wall of their business or stuff like that. So if you see stuff like that, let us know and we'll come clean it up and get taken care of. We actually this week right now we have 3 officers in the gang conference up in Salt Lake. And so I don't want to say we don't have gangs. We have a pretty good control on gangs here. What we're seeing is the younger kids are trying to mimic adults that they see on TV and YouTube and crap. So, but we don't really have a major issue yet. We're trying to keep that in a tight little box.
Another question: has the county halfway housing for the parolees, is that now up and going?
Yep.
Are we seeing any issues,
Not
concerns,
yet.
or things from that standpoint?
Not yet. They staff it with officers from corrections, and we went in and taught them how to do crisis intervention. We actually taught all of the officers that are there how to do crisis intervention. for those guys, if they screw up, they go back to prison. And so they really do have a lot on the line, which is good for us because we can kind of keep a tight leash on them. APMP's been really good with us, but it is active, it's housed. No, it's not fully housed. It's about halfway. They don't have the manpower, the staffing.
This is the one at the old scout office?
The old
I
scout-
thought we
the
were
old Boy
supposed to
Scout.
have some kind of a walkthrough for that.
I
They
think the
had an
state
open
can do what they
house.
want.
They did have one, I missed it.
Kind of. I mean,
How many people do
It
you
was
have down
actually
there?
pretty cool.
I don't know how many inmates they have. I know they have about 20 officers right now that are staffed. So around the clock, it's probably enough to maintain 20, 25 inmates.
The thing that you said, I mean, because I went through the open house or ribbon cutting, whatever you want to call it, but they really, the people that they choose are people who are really on track to turn their lives around. They're not, they really have, they're pretty, I mean, there's always the one, right? But they're really hoping they're not going to be the reoffenders and that they're looking for an opportunity and this is the opportunity for them. And it's a nice facility. It's really kind of
It
a
is.
homey looking, I mean, it has the bedrooms and then the common area. And
I
there's
don't-
the police in the corner with the locked doors and everything, but
I don't know if we've had any, we haven't had any big fights there or, anything like that. So I think as far as most of them are also on work diversion, so they're gone during the day. They're at work, they have jobs. And so that's a plus too, because they're not there all the time. And they do have, they're working to make their lives better, and so they really do have a lot to lose if they mess up. So they're on a pretty tight leash.
How long are the average person's going to stay there?
It can be anywhere from 30 days to 90 days. So,
You mentioned the workers. Most of the rooms have really nice windows and views. They do have a block of rooms in the center for those who work the night shift. So that their rooms are no windows, very dark and quiet.
I don't think we've had any I haven't heard of any, and I haven't seen a case yet of where we've been called down there to. APMP does a good job of policing that.
What is APMP?
Adult parole probation.
Is it just men that are in that
It
building?
sounds like a grocery
Just
store.
men?
it's just men. It's just men, right? I didn't.
APMP? Yeah,
No,
that's
I
a
mean,
men's.
No,
that's
no,
a
the
men's-
facility.
That's
They
a
don't
men's
miss.
only facility.
I don't remember them
yeah.
saying they met. I don't know.
There's no females there.
Okay.
And how do they get assigned where to work? Do they have to go out and find a job?
Yeah, there's specific businesses that will bring them on. They get paid. It's not like what you would make if you went and work somewhere. They get a discounted rate of what they make. So they're still in the correctional facility paid chain, if that makes sense. Kind of the old. Hey, we make license plates. It's kind of like that. In all honesty, they get they're making minimum wage or less, but it gives them a skill. So Universal over in Linden, they do a lot of hiring of those guys. They teach them how to weld, and they come out of there with skill, and they're able to powder coating. There's a powder coating business that hires them. There's a bunch of businesses here in
How do they get
Colorado.
transport?
So that depends. So most of them have, when they're in that facility, the ones from the jail get transported by sheriff's deputies. The ones in that facility have like bus passes and stuff they get around.
Thank you,
Yeah.
and I apologize, I did confuse you.
You're good. Oh, I'm Sergeant Giles. Most of you know me. I've been here before, but I'm the community-oriented policing sergeant, so I deal with any community issues that come up. And I have a party planner. It's fun. It's a good part of my job. Help little kids. It's fun.
A quick question, the autism event tomorrow, what time is it?
5 to 8.
5 to 8.
Do you need help with that?
I mean, if you want to come out, that would be.
I'd be happy to. My middle daughter has autism,
Oh,
and she's
bring her.
really good at helping out the
It's
younger
so
ones.
much fun. We have
Okay.
one of my officers in my mental health team, his 13-year-old has autism, and she is just a hoot. She's so much fun to have around. So yeah.
Okay, I would like to turn the time over to Lenny Millett to discuss the vision of the Neighborhood Commission.
Okay, so we're really this is a work in progress, I'm gonna say first, and we're really open to any needs that you see or anything that you want, but one of the main reasons why, you know, that I wanted to move forward on this was really to help increase communication. We're really, as a council, trying to get the information out and get that information into us, right? The needs and the resources in the right places, learned of those, and then in the resources in the right places. Couple things that, and I'll talk about what I want you to do in a minute, but first I want to say, I don't know, I'm curious to know, how many of you have heard of the State of the State City event that we had? Okay, we got to get more info out to you guys. So I'm going to make sure each one of you get one of these. We had just a phenomenal event where we highlighted all of the great things that have happened in Orem, our departments and our staff and our city council, what the projects we've worked on. So I think it's just important that we get this. You guys are the ones who communicate with our community, right? Mm-hmm. So I think as we tell people what we're doing, sometimes that will, you know, light bulb moment of something else that you need, something, you know, or a different way to do it. So one of the things that I want to talk about tonight, I want you to think about is, you know, we have our social media, we have emails we send out. We also have our newsletter. Have you guys noticed the new Outlook newsletter? Okay. So we're really trying to step it up here too. We were doing them quarterly. We're going to do them 6 times a year now. So we have a great public information officer and staff that helps to get this information out. But one of the things that I want to get your help from is, you know, I know there are neighborhood Facebook groups, there are, you know, email opportunities. I would like you to think about ways that you can get information out to your community. We'd like to connect people to the City of Orem government page, Facebook page, but not everybody does that. So that's my ask of you tonight, is to help us figure out how to get more communication out. Okay, so communication, one thing. The next thing, our general plan is coming up for renewal. Years ago, I'm trying to think how long it was, I was on a group where they pulled about 10 people from the neighborhood, and we just talked about a lot of different housing, schools, police, you know, a lot of different areas that affect neighborhoods, parks. We want to do a little something like that. Again, we have to renew our general plan. And at that point, they did all these little mini neighborhood meetings, and then they had a neighborhood plan, a plan for each neighborhood, and then we took that information and put it into the general plan, which was great. We want to figure out how to do that again. I don't know if we're going to I don't think we're going to do the mini meetings again. I kind of want to use you guys. I'm going to get you the past neighborhood plans and maybe have the 2 from each area review those, see what you think. How do we, you know, adapt those to where we are now? Okay. That's probably the biggest things we want to work on right now. It's really about communication and planning for the future. So
doesn't the city have emails for
everybody?
Do.
Yep.
So
we send this out in email too, but you know, it's interesting. Not everybody opens them.
Are you thinking flyers? Are you thinking, what other communication are you thinking?
Well, I'm open to any suggestion. I mean, we're really trying to up our emergency management preparation, our emergency preparations there. So, you know, I'm actually thinking I would love to have like neighborhood meetings where we come into the neighborhood and we talk about what you need and we help your neighbors ask questions, whatever they want to do there. If you think flyers is what works in your neighborhood, you know, whatever works, I guess.
How
have
would
to
you
get
let
someone to
people
deliver
know
them.
about the neighborhood meeting?
Yeah. Well, and that's it, right? That's the question. I know my neighborhood, we do flyers and we do Facebook. You know, that's how people get things out. Like we had the people come seal the cracks in our street today. Nobody really understood if we had to move the cars or whatever. And someone put something on the Facebook account and everyone's like, oh, good, thanks for letting me know. But I'm sure there's people that aren't there that aren't getting told.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're saying, really it is this, well, what if we have this emergency where we need to communicate? I know they're doing the block captains, but you guys are doing those, right? So we're hoping to coordinate with that. it's really just a work in progress.
Who's doing the block captains?
Stakes and wards.
Wards are doing that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're pulling in
Okay.
people who aren't, I mean, we have a number of people who aren't members of the church, so we have their, I mean, they've been, in my area anyway, there's been some good participation there.
But they're included in whether they're members of the
Right,
church or not.
right,
they're
yeah.
Right,
included.
so they're, you know, they're on our text list there,
Neighborhood
so
block, yeah.
that's why sometimes some of these other things, you know, don't reach everybody, so we want to make sure that we have all of these suggestions.
So could we get a list of the block captains in our area?
Oh, that would be helpful.
We could check on that. That's
That would
actually
probably
not
come
through the
from
city, but, is
It's
it? I mean,
through
that's
the-
just through the wards,
I
right?
think it's through the
Mark?
wards.
It's through the wards.
Yeah.
So there's no coordination between the city and the
Not right now, we're,
wards?
None.
That used to happen.
I think the My Hometown thing, I don't know about what used to happen, Margaret,
I
but
don't.
I think the My Hometown thing is gonna be just a boon for us, you know,
Right.
to really get those resources and help those coordinating there.
Coordination for block captains is through the state.
It's through the state. That's what I thought. It was through the
The
state.
block captains report up to the ward, and
Yeah.
then the wards report to
Right.
the stake, and then the
Right,
state.
so,
The state- the
but
state
so would
boards,
we
the city.
be okay to reach out to like the 3 stakes covered in our areas or whatever and ask the state
Well, in my
presidents
opinion,
if we have
yes.
the information?
I mean, it's up to the stake, it's up to the church how much they want to coordinate with the city, but to me, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just such
good
a
to have somebody,
great
you
way
know,
to get information.
Word over that. I know it's not necessarily calling, but that would be great to have.
So it actually is a calling in my area, but, yeah. Is the shakeout tomorrow? When's the shakeout?
Shakeout?
It's over.
Is that last year? That was last probably, right? I was in St.
Where everybody was just doing kind of a mock earthquake drill.
That's what I simulated, like if there was an earthquake, they just everyone like at 10 o'clock, pretend there's an earthquake. It's like, what would you do if there was an
This one
earthquake?
we weren't asked to report.
I always
neither.
know
I've
about the
done that.
September ones, you know, where you have the honking horn and you
hear about that one.
but
So,
I didn't hear about
how often
this
would you, I mean, do you want us to
I've heard
reach out to our
passed.
areas and meet with them? Like, how often would
So
you?
we're figuring that out right now, right, Jenica? We have got that on our list, because, I mean, we have, what, 9?
Well, 9 areas,
Areas.
with 2 to 3 neighborhoods per.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we.
So we want to do summer, I mean, fall, spring, summer, you know, because they don't think people come out in the winter. But what do you guys think works best?
Well,
How
I
do we?
was going to say,
is
so
it a
my
Saturday?
son,
Is it a-
well, I was going to say, so my son was, well, he was, I think he was a mission leader, but because we are broken up in our neighborhood into the block captains, he would organize with the emergency preparedness specialists in our ward a potluck. It was really successful. He got, yeah, and he would take those blocks and they would each have a potluck, and you would invite everyone in the cul-de-sac. Everyone would, whether it was, they could decide what they wanted, when they wanted to do it, and whether it was going to be a barbecue or whether it was really going to be you bring the macaroni salad or whatever. But because it was with the emergency preparedness person, and then also, well, he was the ward mission leader, but they really worked together and did flyers, and they really made it a neighborhood, get together to just get to know each other, so that when we had those drills in the fall, then people had more of a connection with everybody that and so I was thinking as you were talking that we could do that on a larger scale and maybe have 2 blocks get together or something like that. But I thought people came out.
Did they?
They did, and it was the summer, and then the group itself could decide when they wanted to have that activity versus trying to coordinate a really big thing. This was coordinating maybe 10 families or something like that.
So did he
but-
do it with just the block captains, or did he do it per block?
He
group,
did it with
whole family?
he did it with all the people involved in that block, but the block captain and the emergency preparedness person of that
So then you
ward.
had multiple in your ward, different nights.
Yes,
they
exactly.
did about, like,
Yeah,
6
it wasn't
blocks
like all the same night. It just kind of depended on when that group canvassed their neighborhood of when they wanted to do it. But it was like one person, like my son, just helped make sure it was going to happen here and happen there. And but I'm just saying, people do want to gather in the summer times.
When we were on the council, I know, we had, were they neighborhood picnics? It was when we were divided. Because I remember I really burned hot dogs. You guys cooked hot dogs in the most beautiful form. And mine were always like the little, but yeah, it was the neighbor, it would be like Aspen. The Aspen neighborhood would have their, and they were really well attended.
Yeah, then Orem can help with the resources there.
So
Yeah, but I
we
would
did the
say it'd
same
be
thing, and it was extremely successful. It was one of the most successful things we did to try to bring people together in neighborhoods, because everybody isn't same faith, isn't same. And
Right.
so it was really successful in bringing people together
We had
and getting to know neighbors.
And we talked about even secretly bringing the train, just so only that neighborhood knows that our new Orem train is going to be there. Have you guys seen the train?
No.
Yes. Yes. At the Christmas. Yes, the little train. It's so cute.
That was Jenica's idea. She's when we were talking about having these little in the parks, you know.
Is it those
It's not on
buckets,
tracks.
those oil?
No, it's fancy.
It's really
Oh,
nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's amazing.
It's that size, but
Has
it's,
roof on it
I
and
love that
everything.
though. So, and yes, absolutely.
Well, then
And
bring the
it's good to
police
hear it's been
officer
successful.
to it too. I think it'd be
Well,
great.
and we don't want it. We don't
You
want
know,
it.
I mean, if we had a bigger group.
Impede on your police picnics. So.
So yeah, we do
what's the
those,
best thing?
NIT's in charge of those. Those
Yeah.
are once a month, maybe twice a month.
But aren't
during
they
the
only
summer.
to certain areas?
Yeah, they
Yes,
are. They're
yeah,
only
they're only in, like,
aren't they like
lower summer.
CDBG areas
They're only
or
CDBG
something?
You know, there are other people live in other areas.
People
like
low and
that.
moderate
Like
income
that.
areas, there's certain, based on census information,
Yeah,
there's
it's
certain
really nice
neighborhoods
to-
in the city who are
Oh.
low and moderate
That
income.
sounds like something you'd like to do
here? I
then,
think we have
right?
that.
Yeah, so what would we
What is
do
the goal
in the
here?
gathering?
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say, so
connections-
remind us
Communication.
the overall
Communication,
purpose is not
like-
to have a party, it's to what?
Right, but
what
I
is
think we
the-
want to, where the water tank's being built, let's give some information there. Whatever the needs are in your community you feel needs to have more information, that's one thing we could do. We could also have posters about just general happenings in the city, you know,
Yeah.
like.
I think another important thing is that to introduce us to our neighbors as representative of
Yeah.
this,
Great idea.
of this committee. Because, for example, in our ward, we have a cookie walk every Sunday
Yeah.
in the summer. And, but they don't know, many may not know that I'm part of this committee. But if I go there and start introducing, then the word goes from one person to the next. So those are nice opportunities to put a face on the name, on the Orem, you know.
Where's your neighborhood for the cookie walk?
I
will be there. Will you adopt me?
Yes, absolutely.
No, I'm
What
intrigued
else?
by
Are
that.
there
That's a
other?
fun idea.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
think it just
human-
might be good if we get each 2 representatives for the neighborhood and kind of plan together maybe,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
whatever works for each area. Because I know we have UVU in our area.
Right.
There might be some things we could do in the apartment complexes with the students and stuff, but other neighborhoods are of
We've already
course.
got student ambassadors over there that you could work with, people that are in
Yeah.
charge of the apartments. So
Oh, that's
there's
right.
a-
Yeah, the
there's a
UVU
network at
liaisons.
UVU as well that you can tap into really easily.
And you know what,
So it's
you know, I'm
specific.
actually working to try to connect Orem and UVU better. There's been, for some reason, just animosity, I guess. So I'm just like, no, let's get together, let's make those connections. I would love that. I would love you to help us with that.
But I think neighborhood specific might be the way to go
Right.
about this, just because each neighborhood
Let's
is so
talk.
different.
Well, the more people talk, the easier it is to disseminate information. So
Exactly.
if we have neighborhoods that have really
what your
good,
son did,
you know,
get
they
more
all
into
know
it.
each other, that information is going to go out that fast.
So
And
it's
if we
Jamie-
don't,
it's
it's going to be
Jamie,
much harder to get it out.
Christian's
So
here.
I
He
think
moved
that
out
the
of
more
our
we
state.
can
He
do
was out of
that,
state.
it's actually a really good model to follow.
Okay, so maybe what we do, we have y'all give your ideas to Jenica. Like, where is the best place in your area? Do you think, where do the people gather in your area? You know, what park is best? What do you think would be good to do? Yeah.
And would you advise splitting, like instead of 3 large groups, maybe do 3 separate things?
Like when we have 3 different neighbors, 3 different areas that we represent, it feels really good. You almost need to divide it into 3.
That gives 27 events
Yeah.
planning is the problem.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's the only fear.
I think we just, I don't know. I'm thinking start with 1 per, maybe
Yeah.
some of them, we could do some of the areas that are larger.
Well, and I would think we probably wouldn't do all of them in a single year or something like. That is a lot. We
Yeah,
would
it
be
is a
doing
lot,
something
yeah.
every weekend in the summer. So.
Would you have like a flyer that, let's say we decide to do a gathering, instead of us creating a flyer of what it is that we're doing and like kind of what our responsibilities are, is there some way you could have just a thing that each of us could print off and then we could add our names to them or whatever, but it would be one that everyone could use when they have it, standardized.
And you're all good with that, right?
Just like a
That's a good idea.
Contact me.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying, right? Is like-
Or just send it out to all of us and we can print it out as we wish, but that way it's a standardized thing that we're all giving our neighborhoods all the same information, and then we could or reach out to you and say, could you put Carolyn's name on that one with the two people or whatever.
Which is actually really good, because as people move around the city, they recognize that, and that makes it easier for them to tune into if they've moved somewhere else. So that's a great
I like
way to
that
do it.
idea.
It'd be a brand also that would connect the neighborhood commission to connect to the city council. So something recognizable covers.
Yeah.
What, I just need to grasp the purpose of what is it you
Connections
want
and
us to do?
communication.
Okay,
Yeah.
connections, and are you wanting us to have a meeting and say, okay, what are, list your concerns, are there any concerns?
So what I thought, and you guys can tell me too, I think we could have people from our different departments come, and I think, I don't want to do a Q&A mic thing. I think you just have people wandering, and you're the neighborhood rep, so you're like, a neighborhood who has a problem with a street issue or something. You're like, that's the person, go talk to him.
You could have like a table set up, like a booth kind of thing when they come up and have recommendations or questions or something like that.
Yeah.
Or even name tags where people can actually mingle and visit, but they know who you are by, oh, you might be able to help me with this, you know.
Yeah.
Just call it a government accountability meeting and everybody will
I don't know that sounds like fun.
Lene will wear a mask.
Oh, yeah.
So would you have a city council person come and be there to?
If I'm
Ask
sure
some
if
questions?
everyone will be invited, yeah. I don't know who will be there, you never know. We just always, what council
So
members
you
are
wouldn't
available.
assign somebody to
No.
come to these meetings?
No, but it'd mostly be us and then reporting back.
It's a
to the
neighborhood
city.
thing, yeah.
So do you want to put kind of an idea of how big of a group you would want that to be? So is it going to be a group that we've invited an entire stake? Is it going to be just one neighborhood? What do you want to see as far
So
as
I
that
think
goes?
we need that feedback from you.
Okay.
I think
I think we kind of.
because our neighborhoods are so varied. I'm thinking about all of our apartments. I wouldn't necessarily, I think
Some
we need.
Some neighborhoods,
than
you
others.
get everybody in the neighborhood, and some stakes you get one person per neighborhood.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I think you kind of have to figure out.
Is that what you guys think? I mean, to me, you're the ones who
Start on
know.
the state level to build down, not, kind of hard to build up. It's hard to build up.
That's
Easier
it.
to build down.
Like in my situation, I know I can contact the Windsor Stake president, the
Right.
Ridge Stake president, and the North Ridge Stake president, and I could at least start with information. And we could, I'm with the stake for young women right now, and we do combined 3 stake activities all the time.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. And it hasn't been going on for very long. I think we went for a few years not doing it at all. And now we're seeing that when we combine the 3 stakes together, we just get a lot better numbers and the kids are having fun. And
So are they the same 3 stakes that you're over?
Yep, they are. And so I don't think it'd be that hard to reach out to the stake presidents to start sending information and maybe just have one night or one afternoon per area and then see how it goes. If you just are overwhelmed with numbers, then next time maybe we're going to break it up.
We'll just cut the hot dogs in half.
Send everybody to Costco to buy more.
Is there a budget amount you're thinking that could
I
be
don't know,
spent?
we haven't talked budget yet, so I do know we have a budget, but
So this is
we
a,
have to see what we can, usually hot dogs is what the discussion has been.
It's the citizens within our area.
okay, is it the children? Is it just the adults?
We're having the
I
train,
think it
so
would be
yeah,
all, yeah.
everybody's come
I
through.
think it could just depend on what you'd like to do, because my first idea was just having more of a neighborhood feel to our areas and feeling like we're our own little community within the larger community. But I think it just really depends on your neighborhood and what you and your bandwidth of what you feel.
I mean, I'll tell you, my neighborhood, there will be, some who don't come because they're at soccer games or baseball games or whatever, Summers are busy, but Tammy, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was thinking it might be good to keep it keep certain dates, and I know, like you were thinking, we'd have different people from the city come to these different things, and so this, in that way, this won't work. But if we scheduled twice a year and did it with the April shakeout, and we did also the city emergency, which is, I think, in September.
The third Thursday.
The emergency drill, and then just encouraged everybody to have the barbecues and have all of the city information there as well. I don't know, that's just my thought, is we need to keep it consistent, like not just, oh, we're gonna plan something now, but
like
we
annually.
need to think about kind of the future, and is what I'm thinking.
Which is also why a template would be good, right? If we have a flyer template, it just kind of shows our objectives, kind of what we're trying to do, and then we have kind of some consistency that way. That's probably a good thing to present if you're going to a larger area, like a stake or something like that. So I think that's a great idea.
As I'm listening to this, I'm coming back to the same thing you're asking, is what are we trying to accomplish here? And by the way, in my neighborhood, the Sharon Park neighborhood, we're going to be having the big carnival at our city center park. You're all welcome middle of June. That's in our area, so we're going to take full advantage of that. But I'm a precinct chair, and I keep thinking, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking of my precinct is half of one stake. There are probably 4 or 5 precincts in my area, and it was a huge undertaking just to put together a precinct meeting. To get the facility, we did it at the Orem Senior Friendship Center, to get flyers to every house.
Right, that's the big one.
Because, true, I have access to email addresses to everybody in my stake, but it's for church use only.
Right.
And I stick to that. I didn't use that. And our registry of people who have been registered with the political party, very few give their email addresses because they don't want to be bothered. And so trying to get the word out, trying to get the facility set up, trying to get everything organized just to do elections of officers and delegates was a huge undertaking. And when I think of trying to do that for my areas covering 2 stakes, I'm not even sure where to begin. And then I'm not sure what we're trying to accomplish. Are we trying to have a fun event where everybody goes home and says, well, I had a great time and I socialized with the people I already knew, and I didn't meet anybody else because...
Well, I hope that's not happening.
Because we have a family reunion. Well, my father passed away last August. We had relatives from all over the place come together, and we had a luncheon after the graveside service. And I looked around the room, and everybody's sitting by family.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
The same people they're going to have dinner with that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really go out.
I thought, we had a family reunion several years ago, and I said, everybody sit at a table without somebody there from your fammy. Didn't work. They still sat with their families.
I did
And
that
so-
once, and I went and sat by a family member that I guess was mad at me. I didn't know, but
Like, how you guys doing?
So-
And they're like, we're so glad you went up to Mike. And I'm like, is Mike mad at me? I don't know.
So I'm not sure that we'll...
Is there anything at the Forum
I'm-
Summerfest that's gonna say that we're doing this? Or is there any like booth or
Have like a
something?
booth set up?
That would be a good
Maybe your
idea.
city
Maybe-
person.
Maybe have a float with us on it
So
for our
there
neighbors.
wasn't.
I saw you in the parade. What were you doing there? And then it starts the conversation.
And I thought,
can
yeah,
tell
that just a
them, this
Summerfest,
is
to
what-
whoever comes by to at least introduce us that this is happening.
Be nice
And-
to have a map.
Yeah, map
I think
and
people would
names
come
of
up just
people.
out of
Flyers
curiosity
there.
to look and see, like, oh, I'm in this area, you know?
I'm getting, I love it from Carrie, who's gonna be doing all the work, so. The other thing is, I think the precinct things that I saw, the signs, you just made me think of that. You could put the, neighborhood festival tonight, in yards, we can get signs like those.
Yeah,
We could
yeah.
just put the dates
Yeah,
on.
that'd be good.
And a problem with the precinct signs was that as people drove around, they saw them, and if it had an address, that's
Right.
where they went. And that may not have been the sign for their neighborhood.
Area.
And so we had a
We're
lot of
not gonna
people
put
going
them
to
on
wrong places.
1600 North and Center Street, we'll put them in the neighborhood.
Put them where there's high
Yeah.
visibility, and everybody driving down 4th East thinks that's where they're supposed to be.
Carrie, did you
But-
want to say something?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt your meeting. I'm Carrie, I work for the city. I just wanted to mention the reason behind why we want to do this is, we've been focusing a lot about this with employees within the city, is that social connectedness in communities has declined significantly in the last decade. And so the CDC even came out with their concerns in a white paper that explains how we need to do better in communities to connect each other in our own spaces, which is why I think we've increased this neighborhood commission in general, so that we've got greater outreach into the community. So I don't think it's necessarily that we need to have a goal in mind on what target people we're trying to get. We're just trying to get people together and to connect. Even if they're connecting with people they know, at least they're not at home on their phones, but they're connected in a safe space where they can communicate with each other. And the more that we do these things, the more that we'll see people come out and be connected with each other. And that also with Sergeant Giles, I'll bet you would even agree, the more you're connected with the people in your neighborhood and your community, the less crime you're gonna see, the more engagement and more education that we're gonna see with our community members and everything. So I think that's the why, if that helps answer that question. But I'd love the idea of putting a booth in at Orem Fest. If you guys would be willing to like maybe tag team on when who is there during certain times, we definitely could put a booth in.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe on the booth, have a big map of the entire city with the different, each of our neighborhoods and our photos
Names of us
saying,
on there.
these
And our phone numbers.
are your people. Do you know who they are?
Yeah.
That's why the block activities were so successful though, because you really were getting to know people
Yeah,
were
just-
coming out and getting to know people that live maybe 3 doors down that they had never even said hello to. And so I feel like that's why those were so successful.
And you know, that, I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
your point here, because maybe we do need to be thinking, brainstorming a little bit about how to get those interactions at this activity, so people aren't just, I mean, I'm not saying getting to know you games, but you know,
Right.
something, yes. Rachel.
I was just gonna say, another good thing was, you guys were talking about Facebook groups. I didn't even know my neighborhood had one, so I'm gonna go check that. But at this, where you're gonna recognize who's your representative be, maybe you could put the Facebook group there too, so they can go home and check that or connect while they're there. That's just, another little connection.
Facebook's kind of an age demographic.
Yeah.
You know,
It
so
is.
we need to look
Yeah.
at the different
Instagram, yeah.
demographics, I think, too.
Listen, I'll the older crowd. I don't know.
That's
why
why
I
Truman
think-
I know, my
is
mom
here.
uses
That's why-
Facebook and she's 93, so it's like,
That's
It's- yeah, it's hit
for
man.
older people. Younger kids don't
Okay,
use it.
Yeah,
well,
no,
I
but-
think these are great ideas. I don't have anything else to say unless anyone else has anything.
Remind me of the dates of the Summerfest.
yeah.
June what?
First through sixth, is that what it is?
It's usually later than that.
No, it's
The
the,
second week.
Usually around.
It's in the middle.
it's the 4th through the 8th.
Yeah,
4th to the 8th.
Well, I think most of the things are
Yeah,
like
you're
the
on my
5th,
son's
6th.
The party's on the 8th, or the parade's on the 8th, so.
So if you, there's the oremfest.org website you can look at. But,
Oh, yeah, we
You know,
can't
we
call it
should have
summer.
Yeah.
the car show too.
Yeah, I love the car show.
There's a
Probably
lot
your
of
better
people
time,
there.
you'll have the hot dogs.
yeah.
We'll have the hot dogs there, yeah.
That's on the Monday night.
Okay, so it does say 3rd through 8th.
You're right, maybe we did it at that time.
Okay.
I think that'd be more appropriate than at the
The whole 3-day
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe,
That's-
yeah.
I think that-
Everybody's selling stuff there and you're just
Oh,
sharing
yeah, they're
info.
vendors.
Yeah.
And then it could be cool to have a lot of you there at the same time, because then they could connect with their specific.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
And would it make sense to have us riding on the
We
fire
should.
truck or something? People say, hey, I saw you on the fire truck. Well,
She's our
how come you were there? And I
Trust
said,
me, you don't want to ride in the fire truck.
or a hay
Not as
wagon,
fun as it looks.
a hay wagon or something like that.
Okay, I'm done, Jenica, thank
Okay.
you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I was just gonna add really quick though to that, another purpose for this type of meeting, and it doesn't have to be formal, but I look at our city council, and our city council, correct me if I'm wrong, but you represent the whole city of Orem, every single one of you. And the benefit of the neighborhood commission is that we, whoever you are and your partner, get to represent just your area. And so I think it's important that your area does get to meet you, and also they know who to reach out to if they have a question. So, I mean, there are a lot of benefits to getting everybody together. So I love the social things.
Yeah, I used to go to the Westmore things all the time, when my kids were there. I'd be there all the time for the Westmore activities.
Well, didn't you, in ours, we had a service project that we all
Oh.
engaged
Mhm.
in. And then we had the lunch. But
Yeah, this was just with families and.
This was great because everybody had something they were
Westmore
doing
Park.
together, and then we had a band, all sorts of stuff going on, but
I think we could have a lot of fun with it.
Well, it
depending
involves
on, you know,
people that are
and shape
different
it to
tastes.
your area.
They feel
what's-
comfortable.
What would be really well received in your area. Anyways, I just thought I'd throw that out there. The next thing on our agenda is to discuss discuss Orem Kindness Week, and the time is now Jennifer's for that.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just go over this quickly. And I will put some stuff up there, but it's not critical that you watch. So, see if it works well enough without downloading it.
Is this happening in the schools, Kindness Week, or is
So, a little bit this year. It's just kind of an encouragement to families, people, individual schools to do these things. But this year the city officially is not partnering going into the schools yet. We're hoping we can do some of that in the future. But each day of Kindness Week next week just has a specific theme. There will be things on social media. So again, if you do find Facebook groups for your neighborhoods or anything and you want to share some of this, that would be great. The first day is just, there's going to be a video introducing the week. The second day, encouraging people to compliment other people in person or on social media. The third day, serve your families. Fourth day is kindness in our neighborhood, so pedal your neighbors, and I'll share more about that in a minute. It's like a heart attack activity that you can do. And then the fifth day, encouraging people to be kind to their classmates and coworkers in schools and workplaces. And then on Saturday is our big service event. So this Sunday the 5th is actually Orem's 105th birthday. So we thought, what better way to celebrate Orem's birthday than to give back to the community. So we're planning a big service project at Nielsen's Grove Park. It's from 9 to 11 a.m. And you can sign up on Just Serve, or you can just show up. That's fine as well. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be a new flagpole that we're raising. There's one there that hasn't been used for 20 years. It's just an old wooden flagpole, so we're going to install a beautiful new bronze flagpole to kind of match the historic nature of the park. It's Utah's oldest park, so it's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. It's established in the 1800s, 1880s.
So it was revitalized like 20
Yeah.
something years ago.
Yeah.
Because it kind
So
of.
how's all this information getting to people? How
Yeah.
do they know about all this?
Mostly social media. So it's in the newsletter. It's on our Facebook, Instagram pages.
Is this exact thing what's on there?
This will be. I don't think we've shared this Kindness Week, but on Monday there should be a social media
You can always
post.
just copy and paste that to your own.
Yeah, right,
page or-
yeah.
Yeah, you can share it if you follow the city's page, you can directly
Okay.
share it.
Okay.
And
So is that-
there will be, sorry,
Is that
go.
something that can go directly to us to say,
Yeah,
share
right.
this with your neighbors?
Yeah, I can send it out.
Right. Yeah, that would be nice.
I can send out
Yeah, we can put it in
the
our
overall
post.
day, and then just tell them to look on the city's social media pages. There will be individual posts for the individual days as well.
My thought is, I would like something that I could give to every bishop in the ward, in the stake, that they could put in their ward newsletter, saying, hey, this is coming up.
Okay.
As a family,
Yeah.
think what you can do.
Yeah, I can
And
send it
even go
out.
to the Catholic church that's in our
Yeah.
area and deliver it to them.
Yeah.
On May 4th, or May 2nd, which is the 4th day, we also have their National Day of Prayer event happening. at the
Oh,
City Center.
that's right.
And so you could tie that in as well to have them come for that event. There will be refreshments and speakers and prayer. Good interfaith community activity.
Thanks, that's great.
I think it's
Is it in
the
library
same
hall,
challenge
or-
we all have, is that there's events come up, but how do we get the word out to participate? That's also tied in with the Freedom Festival. It's one of the Freedom Festival activities for the 4th of July.
I was under the impression that was like a closed meeting though, and you had to receive an invitation.
No, it's wide open. It's open to
Okay.
the whole city. It's
It's
of
not
all
like the
faiths.
Freedom Festival one?
Nope. Well, they're a key sponsor. Orem City's a sponsor. There's a number of groups that are tied in with that. The Interfaith, the Utah Valley Interfaith Association is a key driver. So it's really pulling multiple religions together to put on in connection with the National Day of Prayer, which is across the country, to have an event here.
When and where is
that
it?
is, did you say May 2nd, Mark?
May 2nd, it's Thursday. It's at the Orem Library is where that'll take place. And there will be refreshments.
What time?
Stephen Cat Perry will be the speaker, who has a podcast that interviews and works with a variety of interfaith leaders around the country. I believe it's 7.
7? Oh, okay.
Is it in the library
I'm nervous.
hall?
I'm giving you the refreshment time.
That's the
Is
part
the
we want to
auditorium?
come to.
What's that?
The auditorium at the library?
Yeah, at the library auditorium. We usually have, 200-300 people that show up. And
Wow, that's great.
it's a good event, but yeah, we don't get a lot of neighborhood participation. We share it through various means, but this could be one of those that ties in nicely with the Kindness Week
Yeah.
activities.
The timing's good. It's after the state convention, so
Yeah,
you can start being kind again.
Be kind to
It may not
God.
be over everything by then.
See you Saturday.
My bottom line is, I would just like to have a way that I can, if I want to communicate with all the people in our neighborhood that we're older, then I would just like to have a way I can say, please send this out to everybody that you've got email addresses for. So would I send that to you?
I would have to check. I know that we have some emails broken down by neighborhood, but I'm not sure if it's still an accurate list, like, of what we currently have or how we can easily get that.
I did hear
but-
that Heath, our emergency management folks, have that type of thing set up, but we need to check and see how
Yeah.
we would.
Or who it can come from if we
Yeah.
use that list, like if that communication just has to come from the city, things like that. But I will look into it and report back.
It's so, you just got to have a way to do this that doesn't boggle your mind, okay? And if you've got a way to get the communication out, then good. I'm an old NIA chairman from the years before, and we had our NIA, Neighborhood in Action, organized down to the block level, where we could just get out information to everybody pretty easily through our block captains and all that kind of stuff. But I don't see this as being happening that way. So
No, we looked at that program and kind of wanted to tweak it a little bit, but I mean,
How
I
did you
think,
tweak it?
I think, I'm not gonna talk about that right now, but I think we can go, I think using what we're talking about with the stake and these, what they're using, if
well,
we
we
can
use the
incorporate that.
state for the very same reason.
I'm happy to talk to you about it later.
Communication. Okay, well, if you all know what you're doing, I'm glad for you.
So I get emails from the city, and I get emails from the library. How do they know my address? I never really thought about it.
Your utility
Your-
billing
yeah, utility.
is typically,
I mean, a lot, the
maybe you signed
newsletter,
up for it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you might have
it's-
subscribed, and I'm not sure if
I'm
the
glad I'm
subscription
getting-
asks for your address or not, but,
It
yeah.
doesn't mean that you got every resident's email address for
no.
It's your neighbor reporting
Yeah.
it for your lawn.
Yeah, right.
They gave him
Yeah, there's like some, I mean, I have like 3 different email addresses, and at one point I signed up for different things and signed up twice, and, yeah.
Okay, great. So anyway, if you want to participate or encourage people to participate in the flower challenge, they can go to orem.org/kindness. And again, I can send this out. You can just print this off at home, print and color the flowers, tape them to someone's door, just sharing some kindness. And then just a little bit more about the birthday day. So like I mentioned, we'll be replacing the old wooden flagpole with a new beautiful bronze flagpole. The area in front of the barn where the restrooms are, it's cleaned up a lot. It used to be pretty scraggly, but we want to make it even better. So we're gonna prepare the area. We're having some metal rose trellises being built to put there so it smells nice and is beautiful, but we'll be preparing the area to install that. They won't be quite ready yet for the birthday party. And then there'll just be a hodgepodge of different things. It's for families, so feel free to bring your kids. There'll be a rock art painting project that they can participate in. Just cleaning up, planting some new trees, polishing the statue, new flowers, all sorts of fun stuff. And there will be treats as well. So
That's Saturday, May 4th?
Saturday, May 4th, from 9 to 11 a.m. So we'd love to see any of you that can make it there, or like I said, please encourage your neighbors and friends to attend as well.
Bring your gardening gloves.
Yes, bring gardening gloves and be ready to get dirty. Okay, that's all I had for that. So the next, unless you want me
We can move on to the voting.
Okay.
for kindness.
So we, as part of Kindness Week, want to recognize individuals, couples, or families for the ambassador, businesses, and schools in the community that have made a positive impact. So hopefully you have all had time to review these. We'll kind of go through one category at a time. We don't necessarily have to read them all out loud, but if anyone has any comments or questions on any of them, we can bring those up. So we can start with the Ambassador of Kindness. And then if you go back in your packet, there will be a score sheet for each category. So there's a separate one for the Ambassador, Kindness Business, and Kindness School. And so how the voting is going to work, you'll just rank them in your order of preference. There's just as many slots as there were nominations for it. And then they'll all be turned in anonymously, and I will count up the scores. So actually the lowest score will be the winner for each category. So, because you're ranking it by your preference. So for the ambassador, you'll rank them 1 through 5, your preference 1 through 5. But like I said, let's go through the Ambassador of Kindness. Did anyone have any comments or questions on any of the nominations?
Well, the thing that I noticed that basically I feel I'm voting on the person who nominated more than the person that was nominated.
The person who wrote it out.
Because some people I know, some people I don't know. And I don't know if a longer nomination means that that person is, or, is more worthy of
That
my
long
vote.
nomination is because that nomination was also submitted to the school district for.
Right, yeah, but I mean, it's not just
person, so I know
in other, not just ambassador, the school and other things, so.
They're good
I don't know, I feel kind of,
That's really the only information we have to go from, though. If you only have one line, you
Right.
only
Yeah.
have one line.
That's
So I mean,
right.
that's how you make your determination. Like,
Yeah,
that
right.
person, I guess.
Unless, if anybody
Yeah.
here knows any of these people,
Yeah.
can speak for
I
them.
do know the Gilmans. I've known Julie for
Yeah.
30-plus years. I mean, I would,
yeah.
Are they kind?
they're really kind. They're amazing, yeah, the Gilmans. Yeah, just trust me, and
But, I mean, should we vote for what these people are doing for the community? Because as far as what they're doing for the community, then the longest nomination, it's really detailed and makes sense to me. But, or is for the personal goodness? Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, like
Unfortunately, we don't
Nathan,
have
does
parameters.
anyone know Nathan Borba? That's a nominee. He enjoys going to class
guess you-
every day. Is it a child? Is it an adult?
You could look at how many people nominated too, because even though it's long, like some of them, like this one, all these people sent separate nominations.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, for the ambassador, I think they were all
I saw
individual,
that on a
but
few.
But only one person, all the ambassadors.
yeah, for each
Is there more
ambassador,
than
only
one page
person
for the
nominated.
ambassadors?
No, there's not. So,
Oh.
one person nominated.
Right, so that could be one of your parameters.
And so we have to vote these 1 through
Whatever.
5? 1, 2,
Yeah, whatever they're on
3,
here, so it's 1,
Or
So
2,
five.
Sharon Elementary is still a school till the end of the year?
No,
it's
no, but
not.
if you read the things that they're just talking about.
So we're just, are we voting right now on an ambassador of kindness?
I wouldn't even
I
put
would
Sharon down. It
Sharon,
doesn't-
you just announce it. It just gets put on the plaque. I mean, there's not really, I guess they could give it to the district.
Well, I wouldn't even vote for them, they don't exist.
Yeah.
If Sharon Elementary were to win, we're going to bring in the winners members to a city council meeting, and that's how we'll announce it there. So probably would just have someone from the district.
So the ambassador
Or
will
if
do
someone
it.
do a long-term teacher that they can send it to, or something like that.
Yeah, so even though it says on here, and I'm just, because, on the school, it has 3 people, 3 separate nominations for Centennial. Can we change a name on that and put somebody else?
Why?
Because I work there and there's somebody better that should be on there than who's on there. Well, and one lady doesn't even work there. She hasn't worked there for 2 years. So it's like, okay, how do we?
Oh, let me clarify. So these are just the people that nominated the school. So that's not that that person would be recognized.
Okay, so
It's just
the
that
whole school in and
they,
of itself.
Anybody can
Yes.
do that.
Person nominated Centennial.
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're doing ambassador.
Yeah.
I would love to have.
Yeah, so for example, if you look on Cutler's, those 15 people submitted a nomination for Cutler's, or for Centennial in that case, 3 separate people filled in the form to nominate Centennial.
Lawnmower.
Yeah. They do snow blowers, lawnmowers, racing, snowmobiles. Yeah, they're in our
Well, I was
neighborhood.
reading about what people said, like some of them said how they donated something to the schools or how they supported a fundraiser and then went the extra mile and gave an extra check. And, I mean, so we can read about them. I don't know most of the people that we're looking at, but there's some things that stand out. We go, oh, I really like that, so I'm going to vote for that.
How were these people selected in the past?
Same process? We really don't know.
Yes, Carrie. This used to be run by an outside party. If you know Glory Thomas, she was Miss Orem several years ago. It was a grassroots campaign from her originally, and the city supported her in that. But what we're trying to do is have some more oversight to this, so that's why it's coming to the neighborhood commission. That way, every neighborhood has a say in who the city is supporting in these kind of efforts. So in the past it wasn't, but now we're bringing it in to make it a true process that everybody in the city has a hand in. So this is a new process.
It seems like our biggest thing is the write-ups we're reading about, right? Things that people are sending in saying this is why. And that's really what we have to do.
Well, I think you do that and you do how many people. I mean, to me, I'm kind of impressed, some of these, right? But, I mean, but I guess I should say, you do what you think.
Right.
Oops, I shouldn't have said that.
Well, even that, I mean, sometimes it can be a campaign where they say,
Yeah, you
hey,
have 30
a few
friends
friends get together.
that's true.
So I don't know, but whatever brings, you know.
Yeah, vote with your heart.
Right, you know, and that's why there's so many people doing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm so analytical, I'm always like looking for
It's hard, it's not there's not like a very objective way to do this.
So we need to be doing this right now.
Yeah, so we'll just start with the ambassador ones, and if you're done with your form, go ahead and pass it to me so I can start scoring them. Are you done with all of them? Wow, you guys are machines over there. Yeah, you can pass them all, that's fine. I just have to try not to get too...
I feel proud of you though, because there is one person I know and I didn't say anything.
Oh.
Can we just write the last name?
Yeah, that's fine. If you just want to write the last name or abbreviate.
I did my best.
Thank you. I know this is hard.
So when will you know?
I know, but I did my best.
Who was
Well, I
chosen?
know them, so.
Hopefully soon. Like I should be able to do it as.
I think we're gonna wait and announce it.
Well, that's fine. I just, if we were going to do it while we were here, because I want to take off in about 5 minutes.
I think it's better if we keep it hush-hush, that way when we make the announcement, so maybe we just keep it.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can all
I'll
be
forget about
surprised.
it.
Is that what you're saying?
I'll forget who I voted for.
Sure, let me review them first.
Absolutely, but I'm not changing them.
And don't worry, I have no idea your handwriting, so.
We'll also have the winners come into the city council meeting, and one of the mayor's we'll give them a. So I think it'd be really nice if the neighborhood commission, if you guys could come that night and be part of that.
That'd be great. Are you gonna let us know when that is?
Yeah, I'll let you know. Yep. Probably at the night. We might have to schedule with the winners and see if that works, so.
We'll try and do it in May.
So that's the ambassador one. Go ahead and do the business in the school also while we're at it.
Yep.
Which one are we doing now? You don't care.
Business, yeah, okay.
Keep coming. Seriously?
Thank you.
Who are we waiting on down here, Margaret? Hi, Kevin?
She's being thorough.
You don't have to rewrite the whole paragraph.
Well, that's all right.
Oh, shoot, I dropped it. Margaret.
Deja vu. Okay. Oh, I gotta finish.
Yeah, well, that one more good.
It's a short one.
It's a short one.
Estimated completion, 780, 735.
Do they know they're on the list at all?
They don't, no. Well, I guess if
their friends
if the
said
person
something,
told
yeah.
them they nominated them, yeah, but.
The schools and the businesses were easier than the individual because when I didn't know them, I thought that.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not voting.
You better spell check that
It looks great.
one. All right, are we on to the next item, or are we just about there?
Everybody done?
Yeah, is everybody done? Or?
Real close.
Not quite.
I was trying to, okay, no worries.
trying to feel it.
Oh.
This is easier than trying to figure out who to have run for governor, senator, and attorney general.
Well, the mood is certainly different, that's for sure.
Hey, who has garbage?
I nominate Mark.
The garbage man. Well, the kindest garbage.
Mark's Bucky for the next
Garbage Ooh, nice and consolidated. That's not
Okay, all organized.
Thank you.
Are you left-handed too? Take it all.
Thank you. Oh!
Who's this messy person?
Could you just fill it up again and bring it back?
Do you want us to move on to the next thing? Okay.
I think
Yeah, I
it's
think
just-
you're okay to.
I'm just trying to get nominated
Get
as the
started.
nicest.
Do we have that award?
Anybody need some Santa?
So we now open up discussion for any concerns or discussions for your neighborhoods. I have discussion. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I went to a proposed rezoning meeting last night. And there are two areas that are being requested for rezoning off of 1600 North. And I did hear, a lot of people are unhappy with the idea that they want the zoning to stay R8, I think, instead of moving to a slightly more dense housing allowance. But one lady did bring up something that I wanted to ask you about because I didn't have any knowledge about this. And so she is wondering what happened. I guess a few months ago there was a meeting held for neighbors around the 400 East and 1600 North intersection. And she said that there were like 6 proposals by the city of how to make that intersection better. And so she was wondering if the city had reached out at all to that property owner to ask, because I guess one of the options was to allow parking by the Murdoch Canal path right there in that triangle of one of the. So, Lene, do you know anything about that?
We did make an offer on that property,
And they said
we
no.
obviously did not
Okay.
get it.
Okay. She's like, what happened to that? I said, I really don't know,
But
but it
they're
sounds
still
interesting.
studying, we're still trying to figure out and getting grants, in the process of trying to make that happen.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, because that's a busy intersection with the bicyclists going all sorts, because I'm a biker.
Busy and it's narrow. It
there.
feels really narrow.
And, I can't imagine parking anywhere along, I mean, there's other places to park, and you could park at the,
Well, she was mentioning that triangle where there was agriculture there, they grow, I think, corn and tomatoes.
mhm.
That they had discussed the possibility of creating a parking area there.
But you have the old Word Perfect complex that you could park in some of those parking lots there, which they're never full.
Yeah. So the thing they were addressing was not a need for parking by Murdoch Canal. It really was the need for making that intersection safer, and that had been one of the proposals.
Well, one of the plans that night was a pathway essentially across a portion of that triangle and making everybody cross at a different place other than the intersection. So that may have been what also
Okay,
mentioned.
that might have been what she was.
Yeah, we were hoping to purchase that to facilitate that crossing, but we'll have to see where we go from here.
So is the problem that it's a busy intersection and that's where the trail crosses it?
Yes.
Yes. And you have to go across and then across, or across and then across, or other
Saturday
people.
mornings are absolutely.
Yeah, and you get the
Yeah.
pelotons of
At that
bikes and.
And even if there are no people in the intersection, it feels narrow. Like anytime I approach that intersection, I want to slow down to see if I can get by the guy turning, because it's tight. I'm sure it needs some kind of regulation, but it feels very.
Like coming north on 400 East, or just?
Well, I'm usually going
South is
west
worse.
on 1600
Oh, south is
north.
worse.
South is because the right, your driver's side is blocked. It's probably not legally blocked, but
Yeah.
effectively,
Yeah, but
you
it's
can't see
approved.
anything until you're right on top.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if we make a point of reporting about the meeting. I don't really know, but I
There's
just
the
thought.
magic trick. She's disappearing.
I just thought, well, something's going on in my neighborhood, so I'll check it out.
No, and thank you, and I appreciate knowing, yes, that.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was definitely, I found that the people who are closer in your area, I think, that the triangle development was less contested than the square development that was more north and just off 1600. It's tight, and there's just the cul-de-sac and 11 houses around it, and they're very concerned about that.
The one on 1600
Thank
North?
Well, they're both.
The one
just-
it's about 300 west and 1550 north.
Right, it's just south, but
Okay.
it's very close, and its only outlet would be 1600.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Uh-huh,
Okay.
yeah. So there definitely were concerns there.
As I look
Thank you,
at
no, for
it,
saying that, thank you, because we couldn't go at city council meeting last night. I usually try to go to the neighborhood meetings, but I couldn't go.
It was kind of funny because
cul-de-sac is he
someone
talking
said,
about?
"Where's the
This one
city
here?
representative?" And I said,
cul-de-sac.
"Hey, I'm on the neighborhood commission." And as soon as I did that, they're like, "Oh, well, let me tell you what I think about this." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I just said, "I am just here to take notes. I don't even have an opinion to express." But anyways, it's very interesting.
It's good of you to do.
No problem.
As I look at that and think about the problem, 4 blocks east on 800, they built a tunnel under the road.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
As I look at this, one way or the other, you got to cross both roads, whether you
Yeah.
do it in one place or two. And it's either going to be going across it as a pedestrian or going under or over it. I don't see any other options.
You know,
I think someone mentioned an all-stop in the cycle.
Yeah,
where
they're
And now there's like a
everything
scramble, they're looking at, a
a forward.
bridge, a tunnel, or a
It
scramble.
sound like
or
though, I mean,
They
it's-
started a roundabout, but I don't think the roundabout's
It's
good.
not an easy fix, or it would have been
the
done.
tunnel is a problem because there's a huge pipe under the ground right now.
Right,
as well.
yeah.
But also, I was very pro-tunnel until I talked to enough women that said, I will not go in a
Yeah,
tunnel.
and I represented
So,
that very strongly.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a woman who was killed
Yeah.
down in Provo on
Oh,
820 North. She was running at like 5 in the morning and didn't want to go through the tunnel and got hit by a car
Yeah.
because they didn't see her. So-
Well, to me, I would be uncomfortable going through a tunnel if the tunnel is very long. But
Right,
if it's
sure.
short, you know, you're in and out, especially on a bike, that wouldn't bother me.
And it probably
That's-
makes you feel good, because that was one thing that when I was having the discussion, they said, yeah, when we do these tunnel things, we really want to make sure you can see the whole thing, there's
Yeah.
no bends,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's lit. So they think of those things.
Okay.
But they're
I don't
not
know.
all
We
that
don't
way
know.
on the Murdoch. There's
they're
the
not.
one where you there was a service vehicle coming up, and you come around the corner, and if I would have been 3 seconds later, I would have had a head-on, because you can't. It's a blind curve there. It's in like Pleasant Grove or something
We
like
need to
that.
put you on our bike. We're doing bike.
Yeah, because I have a bike all over.
Planning our bike park.
I bike
Why don't you do that,
too.
Carol?
Yeah.
Another area I noticed that's getting really bad has been the section between the freeway on Center Street
Yes.
and Geneva Road.
Yes.
Yes, those going into
That-
Vineyard and
Yeah.
going on the freeway.
It narrows down to one way or one lane on both sides. There's a lot of choke points. I mean, it's really.
So they actually just presented that to us in our work meeting yesterday, and we got funding.
Is that
from-
UDOT that's going to do that then?
Yes.
Good.
Good.
So
that
where
needs to-
Center Street and?
It's Center Street going onto the
University
freeway
or-
north,
yeah.
or
Okay.
going
Geneva
Center
to the
Street down to
freeway.
into
They're
Vineyard.
doing both sides
Where
there,
it should
yeah.
be 2 lanes going on the freeway
Do they
there.
take
Yeah.
out any businesses, or are they going to be able to?
Oh, I haven't heard about that yet.
You've also got railroad tracks there and crossing guard things, and that'll be nice.
When's the
Center
water?
Street and Vineyard is getting to be a really, really busy
Yeah.
intersection.
What's happening with the water tank building in, on 4th South in Orem? When is that supposed to be completed?
Wow, I don't even remember. Have we got a date, Carrie?
I don't think we have an official date yet, but we did just pick the facade for the outside of the building.
Our historic
That's going
preservation
to be there, and
committee.
It's beautiful. It's going to be really a landmark.
So it's gonna be above ground. I thought that whole thing was gonna be
No, it's
under.
gonna be below.
halfway.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's a little park right
A
there.
little incline.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah,
a
it'll
few
be
feet
4
above.
feet up, I think,
Yeah,
is
but
what they
not too
said.
much.
And they're gonna put the cabin that they found on State Street. I don't know if you heard about the
We're
Pioneer
restoring
Cabin.
the cabin.
Restoring
It was
that.
inside a house.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
cool.
that's cool. What happened to the historical house that was in my neighborhood on 8th South? It was,
The Bunnell
Oh.
House. Is it the Bunnell?
it was right by 200 West. It wasn't the Bunnell House. It was a red brick.
Yeah. I know
Whose
what you
house?
mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
I don't know. It's gone now.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it was a
Did it get
historical home.
moved onto the UVU campus?
The Bunnell
no.
House is on the UVU
That's the
campus,
Bunnell
just-
House on UVU campus.
No, this was S, start with an S. I can't remember. But anyway, it just got taken down this past
Do you
year.
have any other neighborhood concerns you'd like to bring up?
I had one neighbor complain about the road noise on 800 North with the truck engines, but that might be just a UDOT issue. Is that UDOT, would you guess?
Well, they're not supposed to use their air brakes, right? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
How we enforce that, but.
Would that be UDOT, probably?
8th North is
Yeah,
UDOT,
they
yeah.
could, I would say UDOT needs to put another sign up or something. Maybe they're not seeing.
I don't know if I've ever seen any signs
Who
for
is that? Oh,
engine
here we
brakes
go.
on
This
that
is
road.
a man that
Highway
knows.
patrol will enforce
that,
like at the mouth of the
That
canyon.
no Jake brake thing. We don't usually enforce that, but 800 North is also their passageway to the canyon, and the canyon's there. So if I can let the troopers know and just say, hey, we've got a bunch of complaints about Jake brakes in the area, and see if they can come and do some extra patrol.
Thank you.
Is it on the west end or the east end?
It's on the, we're 75 East.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
over there by Vasa. We've
Yeah, I'll let
also
the
got
troopers know.
some graffiti going on at the old Vasa gym.
At the old Vasa?
At the old Vasa. I can report that though.
Yeah, if you would. Even if you want to just, if you don't want to talk to anybody, you can go online, do an online report, and it will still come to the same detective.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Does anybody know what they're doing with the back part that still says tennis?
I heard it was a solar business.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Ion
orange part, so
Solar.
It looks like they've kind of done the front and then they just left the back.
I think Ion's using the back part, I think. But I think it's Ion in the more, the west side, and then I think they still have the tennis courts going on on the west side. The east side, sorry.
Yeah.
North end.
They're not using them.
I think they are.
Oh, they are.
I think so. I should go in there.
thought I
I'll go
saw-
in there and I'll tell you next time.
A week or so ago, I thought I saw a lot of trucks that were,
Yeah.
all looked alike
Uh-huh.
in the east side. And I
Yeah,
thought,
those are
oh,
Ion.
That makes sense now. They'd be the Ion
Installation
service
trucks.
trucks.
Okay, we need to talk about our next meeting. So, are there particular days of the week and times that you prefer? And we need to meet within about 2 or 3 months. So,
I like dinner time.
we'll see what we get each time.
How well was this attended compared to how many should be here for a Wednesday night?
We just had 2 that were not able to make it, and they let me
Oh.
know that they wouldn't be able to before, so.
But they were here last time.
Mhm.
You'll always have a couple.
Yeah, it's just impossible to
Yeah.
get 18.
This is a really good turnout.
Yeah.
That's good.
So around this time, Wednesdays typically, or what day of the week is best, if any?
I
Wednesday.
like you sending out saying, here's some options, take your pick. if
Okay.
that's not
I mean, we
too
can
much
schedule
trouble,
them further out in advance if that's helpful to be like, okay, here's our next
When are
3
we
meetings.
thinking of doing the next one?
got a
Are we
thought
aiming
down
for
here.
May? Or, sorry,
Oh,
we're
May is
June?
good.
Yeah,
June or July?
months is probably good.
Yeah,
You
June.
guys have a lot to say.
Yeah. Which is,
didn't know
this
that
is great.
I like having,
You have a lot
I
to
like
contribute.
having variety, because Wednesday night works great tonight.
But for some
Yeah,
people,
I'll be
it
gone
doesn't.
in the
next
summer,
month, and I'll probably be gone in July.
I've got a friend who does a thing at the summer market there at the park, and I help him with that. So.
That's on Wednesday night.
Oh,
That's
the
on
one, the
Wednesday
guy that
nights.
does the smoked trout?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
smoked
is that where
salmon.
I've seen you before?
Yeah.
We love his smoke.
Truman
Yeah.
just said he has classes starting on Wednesday nights too, so if we mix it up, he won't
Okay.
miss every meeting.
Okay.
If we could do Thursdays too, that would be.
Yeah.
I like Thursdays too.
Just send it.
Okay.
Well, I think Debbie said that Wednesdays are hard for her
Yeah.
before she left.
Thursdays work for you.
Next Thursday, end of June?
Next one.
I have
Last
I'll-
Thursday of June.
I'll be out of town.
I just started.
Just
I know, summer is hard.
We said the last, the
Vacation.
last week of June, and then
Stay
throughout
away
some
from the
days.
4th of July. You
Yeah,
got
right.
Summerfest the first week of June. So you're
Yeah,
But then there's a class.
we could do the third week, I don't know.
Yeah.
Either
The third week.
end of June, we could do beginning of July, but,
Try your third week in June.
okay.
It seemed like the 5:30 time works, right?
Yeah,
Because
I think 5:30
things
is
start at
good.
7, you can get out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
So our next meeting, we haven't decided yet. when we-
Just send the calendar.
Well, I mean, we can just see right now if people can look at their calendars and we could
It's
try.
easier to do it now than.
Yeah, let's look at like June 20th. How would
I'm
that
not
work?
here.
You're not here.
It's gonna be a problem.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
That's
maybe
fine.
the way you've been doing is really good.
I think it's,
Might be
yeah.
I do like the voting.
I like the voting too.
Okay, that's fine. I'll send out a couple times. But we
Yeah.
can do one in June, one or two in June, one or
She's
two
gonna say,
dates in
please
July.
respond to the email right when you get it, so
Right.
you don't forget.
Yes. Yes.
And then hopefully we can get the city council conference room. I mean, this worked out, but.
Lenny, did you respond? I'm like, I'm not important, just do it whatever.
Great. Okay, well, we look forward to that email, and I think that's everything, so I motion to adjourn.
Second?
I have a quick
Oh, go
question
ahead.
on the hometown. Do we have like a
Oh.
quick little update on hometown? Or-
Yeah,
Everybody get that
Go ahead,
email?
Jennifer,
Yeah,
That was
they'll
sent
just
to
be contacting
We
you.
haven't heard anything.
what email
I got
did
the
you
email,
get?
but that's all.
From me?
Just said we'd like you to help with it.
berries.
Yeah, we got the email.
Oh, the Barry sent, okay, that's right, because they asked for your contact
Yeah.
information. So
But we haven't
they,
heard from them yet.
so they have been called as the Orem City Chairs, so they'll be coordinating everything in Orem. So right now, we gave them some of our preferred areas, and so they're working with their stake presidents to identify the best place to start. So we're gonna start in one, that neighborhood. The hope is to open up one community resource center this fall, so probably August, September. So the days of service would probably start next year, just as we get up and running. But yeah, so the community resource center just up in a few months, and we're really excited about that. But we don't have a specific location.
Would that community
quite
resource
yet.
center be an LDS Stake Center chapel?
Most likely, yeah.
Because I've helped with them down in Provo, and that was what it was, and it was after school, and there was piano lessons and language, and helped with kids with reading, and it was great. They did a great job. It was really well organized.
We're excited about it.
Yeah.
For Orem.
Yeah.
We're not using Sharon.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna use yours.
Well,
They're not sure if they wanna
Complicated.
do that.
yeah.
It's up to them to choose the spot.
Are we trying to keep it in one facility?
I mean, eventually, most communities that have it in multiple buildings. So
Yeah, so the
But they
kids
said,
can walk.
we just wanna start with one right now.
Yeah.
We were throwing out some great, but
we'll
they,
just
you
get
know,
started.
as a church, they're very methodical.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The Sharon Stake area has a lot of needs.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that was one of
And
the
they
areas
have-
we gave them.
There's a Catholic church there, and
Yeah.
a couple of LDS church buildings, and I'd like to see us involve more than just one church in it.
Yeah, in a specific
And
neighborhood.
so-
Well,
yeah.
and you know, they don't have tags.
Right,
And it's
right.
not,
No, you just wear the name.
But I think
You have a
we'll
name
get-
we're really
tag.
trying to make it
We'll
not.
get a lot of participation from the Catholic community if we have some of the activities in the Catholic.
Yeah.
That's a good
facility.
idea, because it's so close there.
They'll be involved in advertising it and promoting it,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll get comfortable with it, and then they'll say, well, yeah, but this activity is going to be at the LDS church over here around the corner, but this one's going to be here, and they'll be going back and forth, and they'll become friends.
Yeah, that would be
Hopefully.
great. Yeah.
That's close enough, they could use the two.
But,
Yeah, they're walking distance.
so we'll see. That's one of the areas we gave them. But it's just coordination at this point that they make sure that whatever stake president they pick is 100% on board. So, but eventually, even if we don't start in Sharon, hopefully we could do that next, you know?
I know Jim Barry, I'll send him an email.
Lobby for your area. So do we have any call to action kind of things? Like, do we still need to let you know our ideas about that big group meeting for each of our areas?
Yeah,
So
well.
do you want everyone to just email you ideas?
So I'll send out a few action items, but the ones I had written down for the commission as a whole, yeah, so work with whoever is your partner. Sorry, Mark.
You have a partner?
He doesn't have, no, but we'll get you one. Anyway, so think about how you want to get information out to the community, if you can find out about social media pages, but we can also do a better job of pointing you to resources so our communications team can start sending out information for you to send out, or potentially do flyers, things like that. Reviewing your neighborhood plans, just as the general plan's coming up for renewal, so you're aware of what might need to change.
Can we find that on the website?
Yes, and I'll link it as well.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I need to be reminded sometimes.
A potential booth at Orem Fest. So I'll talk to our coordinator there and figure out what to do, and probably send out a sign up there. And then ideas again with you and your partner about what do you think would be effective for your specific neighborhoods, and we can talk about that next time.
Okay.
And you can send them to me in the meantime as well. But other than that, attend all the events. Attend the autism event tomorrow, the Orem Birthday Service Project next Saturday if you can.
And if you want to go to Nielsen's Grove before that, you can support Miss Orem with her run for the 1 in 5 5K for victims of sexual abuse, so survivors.
Oh, what is that?
Is it the same day?
It's the weekend before. It's
Okay.
actually Saturday.
So this Saturday at what time?
It's at 9 a.m.
Okay. At Nielsen's?
Nielsen's Grove.
Where do you find more information about that?
On Miss Orem page, on the Miss Orem page.
Okay.
You know, I think a lot of this stuff, if we put in the newsletter, it gets to everybody, would be helpful. If you had a list of all these people on this neighborhood commission and their contact information in that newsletter, then they would at least know who to contact.
Yeah, and we're even trying, like the arts, I'm on the arts commission, and we're actually trying to get all of the events in one place. You know?
Is there like a calendar like
Yeah.
online? Or,
I think
nice.
that's the goal, what Margaret's talking about, right?
And they can just submit it.
Have a one-stop.
We don't have one yet, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on it.
yeah.
The newsletter is nice because you don't have to go looking for it.
Yeah, it comes to
It comes to you.
Okay.
Great idea.
All right, now for real, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Good meeting.